the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Because maybe you will find somebody who prepare himself for a salah, and maybe he will wait the salah, the next salah, after praying, for example, a salah, but still he is not praying according to the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. وهذه السكينة لابد إذا تهيأنا والتهيؤ أن يأتي العبد الصلاة وعليه السكينة والوقار. That the slave, the servant, he should come to the salah with calmness and solemnity. تأتي بالسكينة، تأتي المسجد بالسكينة بالوقار. سكينة في الألفاظ وفي الحركات. السكينة في الألفاظ وفي الحركات. So tranquility in his speech and in his movement when you come to the masjid. وكذلك وقار في المظهر والهيئة. In the same time, calmness, you have calmness in appearance, in the way how you appear, because you will stand between the hand of Allah Azza wa Jal, right? So you have to have a good appearance once you want to engage in as-salah. And you can imagine, especially back home, sometimes it happens here, some brothers, they come to the masjid with pajamas. You know what's pajama? Pajama? In English it's okay? In English it's okay? Right or wrong?
Right.
How come? Can you stand even in front of a judge with this type of clothes?
No.
Can you?
No.
He will put you in jail, right? And he's a human like you. So, once you think about it, you want to stand between the hand of Allah Azza wa Jal. Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu كان يتلون وجهه إذا أراد أن يدخل في الصلاة فقيل له ما بك؟ قال جاء وقت الأمانة التي عرضها الله عز وجل على السماوات والأرض والجبال فأبين أن يحملنها وحملتها أنا. Ali used to say when he wants to enter the salah, his color, his face start changing. Afraid, he has fear. Then they ask him, why? What happened to you? He said, because this is the time of a trust. The trust that Allah Azza wa Jal offered for heavens, earth, mountain, and they decline it. And I carry it. This is the time now. Zainul Abidin, his nephew, when he started making wudu, his face became yellow. They asked him, what happened to you? He said, do you know between the hand of whom I will stand after that? Between the hand of Allah Azza wa Jal. So if you have this in your mind, believe me, every time you come to the salah, you will prepare yourself. You will have good appearance. If you have perfume, it's okay to put it. This is why يا بني آدم خذوا زينتكم عند كل مسجد. Right? يعني عند كل صلاة. This is why Allah Azza wa Jalla said in the Quran, O son of Adam, take your zina. عند كل مسجد means for every salah. For every salah. So may Allah Azza wa Jal give us this tranquility and calmness and solemnity when we come to the salah. Some people, when they come to the salah, they start running and jogging and come so fast, and you hear their feet boom, 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 while you are praying, maybe ruku' to achieve al-rak'ah. Are we ordered to do so? هل أمرنا بهذا أم نهينا عنه؟ نهينا عنه. Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم forbade this. فقال صلى الله عليه وسلم كما عند البخاري رحمه الله من حديث أبي هريرة قال إذا سمعتم الإقامة فامشوا إلى الصلاة وعليكم السكينة والوقار ولا تسرعوا. Imam Bukhari narrated from Abu Hurairah radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, where our beloved Prophet ﷺ said, when you hear the iqamah, proceed to offer the salah with calmness and solemnity, and do not make haste, and pray whatever you are able to pray, and complete whatever you have missed, and don't rush. Because rushing, hastening, walking to the salah, it's not from the tranquility, from the preparation for the salah. So inshallah ta'ala, Allah make it easy for us. Let us go inshallah ta'ala directly to the first thing that Imam Albani rahimahullah ta'ala mentioned in his book, which is facing the Kaaba. When the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam stood for a prayer, he would face the Kaaba in both obligatory and voluntary prayers. And he sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa ala alihi wasallam ordered that. إذن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كان إذا أراد الصلاة استقبل القبلة في الفريضة، وكان يفعل ذلك في النافلة، ولكن في النافلة كما سنرى أحيانا، وأحيانا أخرى يصلي على أي جهة توجهت به الراحلة. So you will see that the Prophet ﷺ used to face the Kaaba in the Fariḍa and in the Nafila, but the Nafila it is just sometimes. And we will hear later on that Rasulullah ﷺ sometimes in the Nafila, in his traveling, he just leave the she-camel to take any direction in the Nafila, and he just making his Nafila on his she-camel. وكان صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول إذا قمت إلى الصلاة، وكان يقول للصحابي المسيء في صلاته, when you stand for a prayer, perform wudu, then face the Qibla and say Allahu Akbar. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كما عند البخاري ومسلم كان يقول للصحابي المسيء صلاته إذا قمت إلى الصلاة فأسبغ الوضوء ثم استقبل القبلة فكبر، ثم استقبل القبلة فكبر. During a journey, he sallallahu alayhi wasallam would pray voluntary prayers and witr on his mount, wherever it faced, carrying him east or west. وكان صلى الله عليه وسلم في السفر يصلي النوافل والوتر على الراحلة حيث ما توجهت به شرقا أو غربا. So you see that for the nafila and even for the witr, it's not in traveling, especially in traveling we're talking, it's not a condition to face the qibla. But in the fariḍa, it is a condition of validity. For the fariḍa, شرط صحة التوجه إلى القبلة. Then he mentioned قول الله عز وجل فأينما تولوا فثم وجه الله. Then he recited the part of the ayah in Surah Al-Baqarah in verse 115, wherever you turn, there is the face of Allah Azza wa Jal. This ayah سبب نزولها في نوافل السفر. The reason behind the revelation of this part of ayah is regarding the optional prayer and traveling. Is that clear? You cannot now take this part of the ayah wherever you turn your face of, there is the face of Allah in the Faridah, so it's not a condition to direct the Qibla. We cannot accept that. Because this ayah or part of ayah regarding the sabab, the nuzul, the reveal, and why the ayah was revealed is to speak about the sunan in travel, while you are traveling. So there is no harm on you while you are traveling to pray some sunan, even witr, because you will see that Rasulullah ﷺ, he never left even sunnatul fajr while he is traveling, nor the witr. Because somebody will ask, but if we shorten the salah, the faridah, how come we pray sunnah? It's not obligatory, it's not even recommended in the safar to pray unless witr, sunnat fajr, or if you used to do sunnatul duha, it's okay to keep it. There is no harm in that. But in general, in the safar, as you know, we shorten the prayers. The fours become 2, right? And if it is okay to pray the regular sunan, so it's much better to continue the faridah. Right or wrong? So this is why we make some tasbih. Some ahadith mention لو كنت مسبحا لأتممت صلاتي. Tasbih here means لو أردت أن أصلي النافلة لأتممت الفريضة. If I want to pray nawafil, it's much better than to complete the fariḍah and not shorten the fariḍah. وكان أحيانا صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا أراد أن يتطوع على ناقته استقبل بها القبلة فكبر ثم صلى حيث وجهه ركابه. So this is another way how he used to do the sunan. The hadith said sometimes when he intended, and look, he said sometimes, mean this is not a hadi to pray sunan in that, but sometimes when he intended to pray non-obligatory prayers on his she camel, he would make it face the Qibla, say Allahu Akbar, and pray towards wherever his mount turned its face. So now we have 3 types how to pray nawafil. 3 ways to do it, right? Once directly to the Qibla, if we do it sometimes. The second, pray it and there is no harm in you if the she camel or the mount take you east or west. And the third is starting your salah facing the Qibla, then no harm on you after that to pray in any direction. Again, this is regarding not the fara'id, the optional prayers and traveling. The optional prayers and traveling. Keep this in your mind. وكان إذا أراد أن يصلي الفريضة نزل فاستقبل القبلة. When he intended to pray obligatory prayers, he would dismount and face the Qibla. You see the Faridah how he prayed? Dismount, face the Qibla. Then praying the Faridah. It's not in the she camel. It's not anywhere the mount takes you. The Faridah, dismount and facing the Qibla. وكان صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول ما بين المشرق والمغرب قبلة كما أخرجه الترمذي والحاكم. He used to say صلى الله عليه وسلم, what is between the east and the west is Qibla. So the ruling nowadays for us, if we want to pray or to have the direction of the Qibla, the majority of the scholars said Jihatul Qibla تجزئ عن عين القبلة. The majority of the scholars said that if you just direct yourself to the jihah, to the side of the qibla, to the east in our case, because we directed our faces to the east. So if you direct yourself to the east, it's okay, it's enough, no harm in you. وقال فريق آخر بل التوجه إلى عين القبلة إن استطعت. Another group of ulama said, which is minority, you have to direct yourself to the qibla directly, to the same qibla. No doubt, if you see the qibla, you cannot pray to any side except to the qibla. Is that clear? Once you are in front of the qibla, you cannot say, oh, the whole direction from east to west is the qibla for me. No, you have to direct yourself to the qibla directly. But what happened if I want to pray and I do not know the direction of the qibla? Can I pray? Or I should make some, what we call taharri, investigation before. لابد من التحري. I should investigate, make some offers to see where is the east from this place, from our place. So let us say I looked at the sky, I did not figure anything, it's cloudy, because if the sun is clear, after, for example, Asr, the sun goes always to west, so the other side will be the east, and this is the easiest thing, right? But what if it is in the middle, or it's cloudy? So how can I pray in this case? Well, if there is somebody who can I ask him, who I can ask about the east, it's okay to ask and to pray to the east. But if there is no one, so I will figure my opinion, look here and there. Then, for example, let us say that I decided that this is the east after investigation. So they said, Allahu Akbar, I prayed. When I finished my prayer, the clouds moved a little bit and the qibla was on that side. So what's the ruling now? What is the ruling? Is it okay or I have to repeat? اتفقوا. السؤال, if I pray to that direction, which is west, then after I finish, I discover that the qibla is in the other side, the opposite side.
Then it's okay.
So is it the prayer okay or I have to repeat it?
It's okay.
Is it okay? It is okay. MashaAllah alaykum. Fuqaha, alhamdulillah. It is okay, no harm in you. There is no need to repeat it. But can you pray another time to that direction? Of course not. Because you did your best. Right? You did your best. وهذا دليله ما ذكرناه حديث جابر رضي الله تعالى عنه قال كنا مع رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم في مسيرة أو سرية فأصابنا غيم فتحرينا واختلفنا في القبلة فصلى كل رجل منا على حدة فجعل أحدنا يخط بين يديه ليعلم يعني يعلم مكانه فلما أصبحنا نظرنا فمنا من صلى على غير القبلة تحروا كان غيم فمنا من صلى على غير القبلة فذكرنا ذلك للنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فلم يأمرنا بإعادة. واضح الدليل؟ So Jabir radiyallahu anhu said once when we were with the Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم, then on an expedition, he said, the sky was cloudy. So we tried to find the Qibla, but we differed. We differed. So each one of us prayed in a different direction. And each of us drew marks in front of him in order to make or to mark our positions. In the morning, we looked at it and found that we had not prayed towards the Qibla. So we mentioned this to the Prophet ﷺ, but he did not order us to repeat the prayers. Is that clear? The evidence behind it. طيب الأمر الثاني الذي ذكره الشيخ رحمه الله ولعلنا ننهي به, standing in a prayer. كان صلى الله عليه وسلم يقف فيها قائما, يعني في الصلاة في الفرض والتطوع امتثالا لقول الله تعالى وقوموا لله قانتين. So he صلى الله عليه وسلم used to stand in a prayer for both obligatory and voluntary prayers, carrying out the command of Allah Azza wa Jal وقوموا لله قانتين, and stand before Allah devotedly. So he صلى الله عليه وسلم used to stand. وأحيانا في السفر, you remember I said the option of prayer is in travel only. Now he said now وأحيانا في السفر كان يصلي على راحلته, as for during a journey he would pray voluntary prayers on his riding beast. So in traveling, only in travel. Then في مرض موته صلى الله عليه وسلم صلى جالسا كما أخرج ذلك الترمذي وأحمد. He صلى الله عليه وسلم prayed sitting during the illness of which he died. So during that illness he prayed sitting صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم. He also prayed sitting on another occasion before that, when he was injured and the people behind him prayed standing. So he indicated to them to sit. So they sat and prayed. When he finished, he said, you were going to do as the Persian and the Romans do, stand for their kings who sit. So do not do so, for the Imam is there to be followed. When he makes ruku', make ruku'. When he rises, rise. And when he prays sitting, praise sitting, all of you. إذن هذا الحديث صلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم مرة حين اشتكى فصلى جالسا وصلى الناس وراءه قياما، يعني الصحابة، فأشار إليهم أن اجلسوا فجلسوا، فلما انصرف قال كدتم أو يعني إن كدتم آنفا لتفعلون فعل فارس والروم يقومون على ملوكهم وهم قعود، يقومون على ملوكهم وهم قعود فلا تفعلوا، إنما جعل الإمام ليؤتم به، إنما جعل الإمام ليؤتم به، فإذا ركع فاركعوا، وإذا رفع فارفعوا، وإذا صلى قاعدا فصلوا جلوسا أجمعون، فإذا صلى جالسا فصلوا جلوسا أجمعين. طيب، في صلاة التهجد, if somebody wants to make tahajjud, optional prayer during the night, هل يستطيع أن يصلي قائما أو قاعدا من غير عذر أو لا يستطيع؟ Can he praise optional prayer standing or sitting without excuse and excuse? Can he or he cannot? Yes, he can. Yes, he can. In optional prayer, tahajjud, كان صلى الله عليه وسلم يصلي أحيانا قائما قاعدا ثم يقف قبل الركوع كما سيمر معنا بإذن الله عز وجل. So the musalli, the prayer, if he wants to pray tahajjud, optional prayers in the night, he can praise standing, he can praise sitting without an excuse, he can combine both standing and sitting in the optional prayer.
صلاة المريض.
مرقنا عنها؟ إن شاء الله حنرجع لها. So this is the way how Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to do. For example, sometimes when I said he sometimes used to combine between standing and sitting. So sometimes he sat down, recite, then when it is almost little 5-10 ayat to make the ruku', he stand up. Then he recite that little bit of the ayat, then he made his ruku' sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. ثم يفعل ذلك في الركعة الثانية. He used to do the same thing in the second rak'ah. So starting his salah, sitting, reciting, before ruku' he get up, recite 5 to 10 ayahs, then he makes ruku', get up, sit down, sujood, then remain seated for the second rak'ah, recite the same thing, getting up before ruku', recite 5 to 10 ayat, making ruku' again, then making taslim. السنة في كيفية الجلوس. إذا أراد العبد أن يصلي جالسا كيف يجلس؟ If someone wants to sit down to pray sitting, how he should sit down? How? Crossing the leg. السنة أن يصلي متربعا. So the one who wants to pray sitting, he should cross his leg. I mean, not should, it's recommended, it's the sunnah. It's not should.
Like this.
Like this. Like Sheikh Khalid. Like Abdul Wali. Like, mashallah, a lot of brothers sitting crossing the leg. So this is the sunnah. This is what is recommended. But what if he cannot sit down like this? لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. So if you cannot sit down like this, sit down in any position that you feel comfortable. But if you can, this is the sunnah. Stick to it.
Like this?
Yes. Now, this is mutarabbi', crossing the leg. So if you can, just stick to the sunnah, and inshallah ta'ala, you will be inshallah ta'ala rewarded. Let me just pass fast for the prayer of a sick person, and I will stop inshallah after that to answer your question, and if Allah Azza wa Jal give us life, we will continue inshallah the next Saturday inshallah. The prayer of a sick person in sitting position. Now we cover it without mentioning the sick person, but let us take the ahadith. طيب. الصلاة جالسا للمريض. قال عمران ابن الحصين رضي الله تعالى عنه كما عند البخاري ومسلم وأحمد: كانت بي بواسير فسألت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم. When I say Rasulullah, I did not hear Salah. So your lips is tightened. Move the lips. Yeah, say sallallahu alaihi wasallam, whatever, it's up to you. I'm not saying this to shout, but at least for yourself, say sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because al-bakhil, the stingy, as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, أتدرون من البخيل الذي ذكرت عنده ولم يصلي عليه. اللهم صل وسلم عليه. He said to his companion, do you know who is the stingy? He said, they're thinking that we think nowadays, that the one who is not spending. He said, al-bakhil, the stingy, is the one who, when I mentioned in front of him, and he said not send blessing to me. This is the real stingy. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه. إذن عمران قال سألت رسول الله صلى الله تعالى عليه وعلى آله وسلم فقال صل قائما فإن لم تستطع فقاعدا فإن لم تستطع فعلى جنب.